Hello and very warm welcome. You are watching Pulse of Africa. The 2025 Annual General Meeting of ID4Africa is being held here in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, the political and diplomatic center of Africa. So what is ID4Africa and what it aspires to achieve? So ID4Africa is a big Pan-African movement aimed at building strategic capacity needed for developing responsible identity ecosystem. So ID4Africa believes that inclusive identity system is very much essential for economic growth and digital transformation of governments. ID4Africa was established in 2014 and the first ID4Africa event was held in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. The annual general meeting of ID4Africa has been conducted for the past 10 successive years and the 2025 annual general meeting of ID4Africa is being held in Ethiopia under the theme Digital Identity at Scale, Prioritizing Use and Maximizing Impact. This transformative event has brought together more than 2,000 attendees from different parts of the world, from more than 100 countries. I will be back with other relevant information and updates. Do stay with us. Stay tuned. The 2025 annual general meeting of ID4Africa has been conducted beautifully here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the political and diplomatic center of Africa. Now I'm joined by Abenezer Feleke, who is a senior strategic communication advisor for Ethiopian National ID program. Abenezer Feleke, a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Ethiopia has been selected to host the 2025 ID4Africa event after passing through enormous competition and rigorous process. So why the selection committee has selected Ethiopia to host this super important global event? Let's start with this.
Okay, thank you for having us. So the ID4Africa movement has been annually convened for the past 11 years now. And every time a country is selected based on specific criteria that the ID4Africa movement sets. And one of the basic criteria is the country a strong advocate of digital ID implementation. So the fact that the Ethiopian government has made it its top priority as one of the key enablers for digital ID, Digital Strategy 2025, has made it crucial for its selection. The second one is, of course, our conference hosting capacity, which has, enabled us to host a variety of international events, including the African Union heads of states, as well as the meeting, as well as other key events that happened just the past week. It shows you that we have a good capacity to implement large conferences. And the other one is, of course, the fact that we have the largest carrier in Africa, the Ethiopian Airlines, with the highest number of connective destinations. That makes it very, very easy for all participants, including exhibitors that are coming from around the world, to easily come into the country. So these collective measures is what made Ethiopia selected.
We have been attending the opening speech by Prime Minister of Ethiopia, His Excellency Dr. Aḥmad, and he said that today more than 50 million Ethiopians have obtained digital ID, and this is tremendous success, isn't it? So how and why Ethiopia has been successful this far?
Yeah, I mean, as I've mentioned before, Digital Ethiopia Strategy 2025, one of the key enablers of the various digital public infrastructure initiatives is the FIDA ID, or the Digital Ethiopia, Digital Identity implementation. So it has been 3 years now. 15 million in 3 years is a very good progress, given the fact that we had to do a lot of foundational work to be able to set up the system, set up the regulatory measures, ensure data protection, and ensure inclusion. So the fact that we are now striding in conjunction with the various public institutions to be able to implement this digital identity at a very progressive state has enabled ID4Africa to give its attention to Ethiopia as well. That's why we're having now the particular session on Eye on Ethiopia just a few minutes after this interview. FIDA Digital ID, so far its implementation is not just registration. We have been able to also do a lot of system integration. We have integrated with over 52 public agencies to be able to provide access to services. The recent MESOB One-Stop Center that was inaugurated by the Prime Minister shows you that it's because of the FIDA ID that has enabled to be at the center for a unique identification for accessing these public services that has enabled us to be able to implement it in such a robust way. So all these aspects is what made us to host this important global event.
The 2025 ID4Africa event has been kicked off this morning here in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. So it's going to stay for the coming 4 consecutive days. What programs are there?
So there are over 52 hours of various sessions that are happening throughout the 4 days. Various industry experts from around the world, bilateral organizations, and all key important players in the identity ecosystem will be having various speaking sessions, panels, and knowledge sharing sessions. And this is very important because not just for those attendees, but also for our local institutions and participants to be able to gain a lot of knowledge around identity ecosystem building. So the sessions are specifically tailored in various topics. Some are covering legal and regulatory aspects, some are covering cybersecurity, some are covering data protection and data sovereignty aspects, and some are covering on how governments can scale and impact their implementation. So the fact that there are diverse set of sessions and that people have the opportunity to interact and network with one another from diverse government bodies, bilateral organizations, the private sector, makes it very interesting. Not only this, but also the fact that we have over 120 exhibitors that are technology providers providing the latest technology in identity implementation, which the Prime Minister also toured this morning, will also enable us to gain a lot of knowledge around technology building around identity ecosystem. So the session is very exciting, very, very productive, and very illustrative in terms of the depth of the topics that have been assembled.
Abenezer Feleke, Senior Communication Advisor at Ethiopian National ID Program, thank you very much for taking time to conduct this interview and wishing you success.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that was my quick but fantastic interview with Abenezer Feleke, who is a Senior Communication Advisor for Ethiopian National ID Program. And the 2025 Annual General Meeting of ID4Africa has been undergoing pretty much very well here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And the program will continue over the coming 4 consecutive days. And we will continue to provide you latest information regarding the 2025 ID4Africa event. Many thanks for being with us, and goodbye to you all.